say I'm a subscriber before the rules kicked in, before the act kicked in, right? I already have accepted terms and conditions, which is the standard
Yes.
template anyway. So will this now, with the rules coming in, and if it gets notified, do all the companies then revisit their existing subscriber base and take explicit consent again for this act?
No, so the way, interestingly, the law reads, and the rules have not given that clarity, how
Right.
it will be achieved. But they do say that if you have already taken consent, okay, even then the notice unfortunately needs to be given,
So
right?
that
Of the
will
all
have
the
to be
points that I
notified
mentioned,
for,
right? The
right?
purpose, once again, you have to explain, you have to give them, what are their rights, you have to give them the grievance redressal mechanism, all of that, right? And but they have already given consent. If with that case, you're simply giving the notice, correct? And then if they want to withdraw, they may withdraw consent, whatever it may be.
Right.
But
But
if they have,
consent,
if there
consent,
is
as
no
you earlier
consent
said,
given, then you
yes,
have to give the consent. So there are these three buckets. So
got
that's
it.
why you need to really figure out for what
Right,
consent. And your question is very valid because the earlier law did not require that for
right.
regular data, right? For sensitive personal data, it did require. But what you say, I mean, honestly, many companies may have already taken consent because that's a standard process followed that, there is consent. The question really is the consent as required under the act. All your purposes have been specified and all of that, right? If the notice was not adequate at that point in time, because now you have to clearly articulate purpose. If your earlier notice was wishy-washy, right? So that is the due diligence one will have to carry out. All the companies will have to carry out. And of course, the last point being, as I started with, is the security of the data, right? So that's the security. The act doesn't prescribe a specific, standard of security. The proposed rules are giving certain principles that you need to follow. But there is no like we have in 27001 ISO, etc. So that kind of prescription luckily doesn't exist, but they have given certain principles. Yeah.